is Ain Nurshahira and my metric number is 277961. So I'm going to present about my research. The title is Economic Impact of the Amaran Ikhtiar Malaysia among hawkers in Kupang Pasu. Okay, so firstly for the chapter 1, introduction. So introduction of the study. Chapter 1 describes that the background of the study, which gives an idea about the scope of the study. It includes the problem statement, the research question, and also the research objectives. Next is the background of the study. So firstly, poverty is one issue that needs to be given primary focus in the national development agenda. So AIM will also include with poverty. So next is the most important things that we should be indicated is the problem of poverty among population, especially rural population. So next is poverty is something that cannot be avoided if aiming for high growth. So poor refers to the insufficiency of resources to meet the needs of life. So if they don't have the enough resources, so they cannot gain income that can provide their food, clothes, and shelter to them. So government make initiative and build a microfinance to indicating poverty. So the goals of microfinance is to provide small subsidies loans to the most vulnerable members of society. So AIM is one of them that can provide credit loans to those who need them. So AIM has given financial assistance to the poor, which is those with incomes below the line poverty in all countries that want to carry out economic activities. So they give the loan to make a capital to them to set up a business, to gain more income in their life, and also to increase their quality of life. Okay, so next is about the problem statement. So until now, the problem about their poverty, it's very difficult to eradicate, and many ways has been done to eliminate poverty, including improving skills, work spirit, productivity, education, agriculture, subsidies, and more. But poverty is still there. So poverty or lack of income causes many individuals to face difficulties in continuing their life. So traders or hawkers needs sufficient capital to run their respective business. So this is the problem to them. The existence of loans, existence of funds from certain bodies is very important to help stimulate financial resources to them. So AIM is one of the organizations that provide loan fund services. So this study is to figure out that AIM are effective or not to them. So next is the problem is all the assistance providers successful or not in helping these hawkers or sahabat to increase their income through the financial assistance given to run a business. So next is AIM are effective or not that give loan to them to increase their incomes, standard of living, and well-being to better level or not. So next is AIM can also decide whether to increase the amount of existing loan if the loan given to sahabat is not sufficient in improving their business, which cause the loan given to be ineffective and unable to increase their income and standard of living. So the next problem is AIM decide to increase or not the amount of the loans to be given to them. So this study also have to be figured out it to be increased or not. So next is this help the hawkers or sahabat ensure that the funds given are successful in helping them improve their standard of living to a better one or not. So if this study if not done, it is possible that their effect will not be defended, not be knowing to government. So after all, even if they still get the loan, it will not help because it may be not enough to them. So therefore, this study is very important to determine whether the loan funds provided by AIM are successful or not in improving the capital, the income, standard of living, and the well-being. Okay, so from the problem statement, we found the research question and also the research objectives. So firstly, in this study, there are 4 main question has been stated in the previous study problem. The 4 research questions are: first, what are the demographic characteristics of hawkers in Kuala. Second, do gender differences affect the trend of income, the standard of living, and the well-being of hawkers in Kuala. Third, does types of poverty affect the trend of income, the standard of living, and the well-being of hawkers in Kuala. So the last one is, what is the relationship between economic impact on the trend of income, the standard of living, and the well-being in Kuala. And next is the research objective. In general, the studies examines the effectiveness of the Amanah program against the hawker in the Kuala. So the main objectives here is, first, to examine the demographic characteristic of hawkers in Kuala. Next is to investigate whether gender differences affect the trend of income, the standard of living, and the well-being of hawkers in Kuala. Third, to identify those types of poverty that affect the trend of income, standard of living, and the well-being of hawkers in Kuala. So the last one is to clarify the relationship between economic impact on the trend of income, the standard of living, and well-being in Kuala. Okay, so next is for the chapter 2, the research hypothesis. So firstly, the hypothesis must be developed in research to determine or define the link between the dependent variable and the independent variable. The purpose of the hypothesis is to find the answer to a question. The economic impact is used a research dependent variable in this study, while gender differences, poverty, the trend of income, the standard of living, and well-being are used as research independent variables. So first, to investigate whether gender differences affect the trend of income, the standard of living, and the well-being of hawkers in Kuala. So we have to figure it, there is no significance or there is a significance with the different trend of in income among gender, standard of living among genders, and well-being among genders. So next is to identify does the poverty affects the trend of income, the standard of living, and the well-being of hawkers in Kuala. So we have to figure out there's no significance on there is have significance or not in different trend of income in poverty, standard of living in poverty, and well-being in poverty. So next is to clarify the relationship between economic impact on the trend of income, the standard of living, and well-being in Kopasu. So there is a significance or not in the relationship between economic impact on the trend of income, the standard of living, and well-being. So just summarize for this chapter is to the literature review from earlier studies we've analyzed in this chapter to demonstrate the relationship between the independence variables and also the dependence variables. In the meantime, the empirical review, the previous research either in books or journals, article or any sources, the hypothesis was created and referred to the objective of the research. Okay, so next is for the chapter 3, the methodology. This chapter is about we'll go through the methods that were applied to conduct the study. So research is critical because it is process that solve problems through planning, data gathering, analysis, and interpretations of the obtained data. So firstly, about the research framework, we found the research framework is about the independent variable and also the dependent variable. So independent variable, we have known that in chapter 2, trend of income, the standard of living, and also the well-being. So the dependent variable is impact AIM scheme among hawkers. Okay, so next is about the research design. A survey in a proper investigation or study where the data are collected and analyzed using observation, questionnaire, and other methods. Survey are used to get information on behavior, beliefs, and understanding. So we use the questionnaire to gather all the informations among hawkers in Kopasu. So the next is type of study. The type of study being conducted, this study is using quantitative data on the economic impact of the AIM scheme on hawkers in Kopasu Kedah. Based on the preparation of scientific study, the research design gives an overview of the framework, planning, or strategy which determines the procedure of the studies. The study's data collection methodology serves as a guide in assisting the research in the process of gathering the data. So next is how we have a source of data. So before the data collection process begin, the total population was acquired from AIMs Cawangan, Kubapasu, Kedah. After that, information will be obtained by giving a Google form to the sample population of AIM scheme participants hawkers. So we just gather the information through the Google form. We share it online to the participants hawkers that borrow from the AIM. So the information will be next be evaluated to illustrate how the variables in the findings are significant or not, associated by the questionnaires that have been given through the WhatsApp using the Google form to fill out the form. So so for the unit of analysis, we just gathered the informations. The individual is the unit of analysis for this study. Is the respondents are hawkers participate in AIM scheme and live in the Kumapasu regions of Kedah only. Their response will be viewed as a unique source of data in and of itself. So next is the population of frame. The populations is a group of individuals, item, families, groups, organizations, communities. Based on this study, the sample population is based on the total numbers of sahabat who participate in the AIM microcredit loan scheme, which is estimated at 1,800 individuals from various backgrounds, ages, and races in Kumapasu, Kedah only. So sample and sampling. The total populations that we find out in that sahabat in Kumapasu among the hawkers is 1,800 people. So we success to complete to gather the informations. Sample size of 370 respondents or more is required to populations of these hawkers in Kedah. So we success to figure the 316 people respond. Okay, so next is the questionnaire design. So firstly, we have 25 questions in our questionnaires. We have section A, the demographic profile informations. So it includes the gender, age, material status, education level, number of dependents, income, amount of loan borrowers, duration of membership in AIM, duration of business experience, and type of business among hawker in AIM scheme. And section B, we have trend of income. This section comprises 5 questions that examine the AIM scheme effectiveness in increasing borrowers' income. So next is section C, standard of living. This section comprises 5 questions also that demonstrate the success of the AIM scheme in boosting the standard of living of AIM micro credit scheme borrowers. Next is section D, well-being. This section includes also 5 questions to illustrate the improvement in well-being households that use the AIM microcredit scheme as a tool to boost business productivity. So next is section E, for the last section, the economy impact. So this section consists of 8 questions that show that the AIM scheme's success in terms of its economic impact on AIM's microcredit scheme borrowers. So next is we use measurement, a Likert scale measurement as a rating system used in surveys to analyze people's attitudes, views, and perceptions. So we use this Likert scale in our questionnaire from worst to best. We use Likert scale 1, strongly disagree, to 5, strongly agree. So from worst to best, this from the section A to section E. So next is we use SPSS version 25 to perform our data and analysis. We use the descriptive analysis, the independent sample t-test, one-way ANOVA, and person correlation analysis. So firstly, the description analysis. The description analysis was used to examine the frequency and percentage of respondents' demographic information in section A of the questionnaires. So next is the independent sample t-test. This used to analyze whether the gender differences affect the trend of income, standard of living, and the well-being of workers in Kumapasu. So next is one-way ANOVA. One-way ANOVA was used to see whether the difference in the type of poverty affect the trend of income, the standard of living, and also the well-being of hawkers in Kepala Pasu. So next is for the last one, we use person correlation analysis to in this research to analyze the relationship between hawkers toward the trend income, the standard of living, and also the well-being of hawkers in Kepala Pasu. So next is the chapter 4. We're going to explain about the data analysis. So I will explain about the significance or not using the t-test, sample t-test, the one-way ANOVA, and also the person correlation analysis. So firstly, using the t-test, we independent sample t-test between gender and also trend of income. So there is a significant different trend of income among gender. This showed that we have a significance between income among gender male and also female. So they have a different way and different hard worker that shown from different gender, and it's also significant between gender and standard of living and also well-being. So this also shown that among the different gender is also show the standard of living, the different standard of living, and also the different well-being in their life. Okay, so next is the result of the one-way ANOVA of trend of income in poverty. So so there is a significant trend of income in poverty. This is supported by the previous research of Omar that shown in this study that AIM borrowers between year 1988 and 2006 increased their income levels after joining AIM. Not only in the trend of income, the well-being, also the standard of living, and also the well-being in poverty also have a significance, and this also give a result that after they are joining AIM, the well-being and also the standard of living of their life increase towards the in their life. So their income increase, the well-being also increase, the standard of living also increase, so they manage to gain more profit and can use the loan to make capital to gain more in their business. Okay, so next is the last one. The last method we use is person correlation analysis result, that is shown there is a significant relationship between trend of income and standard of living, and also the well-being. So this statement can be supported by Abdullah A.M. 2011 in his research stated that implementations of AIM can improve the quality of life compared to before they're joining AIM. Okay, so lastly for the conclusion. So in conclusion, this research is focused on the relationship and impact on the economy, impact of hawkers that joining AIM in Kepala Pasu. So research shows that there is a significance in trend of income, the standard of living, and also the well-being. So it also shows that different gender or the type of poverty will give positive effect to economic impact to their trend of income, standard of living, and well-being, also with the quality of life after joining the AIM. So AIM will give benefits because they give the loans to them to use it to their capital for business. So borrowers can improve their skills in business and also can boost their income. So that's all from me. Thank you so much, Dr.